Morning everyone, Mr. Parry here. It's Tuesday morning, so here's our Tuesday morning writing lesson. I hope you've got on well with the last 2 days. I've been very pleased to see some of them coming through on Class Dojo, particularly Lainey, yours excellent second part of your story yesterday. It's going very well. If you haven't, you can always go back and catch up, and I will be very pleased to see your work appearing on Class Dojo later today. So Tuesday's lesson, we'll start off with our flashback, a little bit of a competition, see who can get the most. So we are looking at synonyms. So I would like you to think of as many synonyms as you can for said, and then as many synonyms as you can for move, and as many synonyms as you can for good. I've started you off with the first three. For said, I've got whispered, muttered, bellowed, but there are loads more. For move, I've gone for sprinted, tiptoed and zoomed, but there's loads more. And for good, I've chosen amazing, spectacular and exceptional. I would like you in your books to write the said, move and good. You can copy my three if you want and then see how many more you can come up with. Set yourself a target. Are you going to get 10 of each, 15 of each, 20 of each? Post those onto Class Dojo and we'll see how well you've got on. So stop the video now and have a go at that first activity. Well done. Make sure you remember to take a photo of that and send it in to me, and I'll see if you got as many as I can get. Moving into our reactivate then. So for our reactivate today, I want us to look at expanded noun phrases. So to do this, just have a look around the room you're in and choose three things, anything, three nouns, three objects. And then see if you can create an expanded noun phrase for each one and write it in your book. So if I look around my office, I can see straight away over here, there's a cup. Okay, it's a grey cup, but grey is not a very good adjective. I use this cup for drinking coffee, so it's a coffee cup. Obviously, that's my first adjective, but inside you can probably not really see, but it's a little bit filthy. It's a little bit dirty. So it's a dirty coffee cup. That's my adjective to describe it, and it seems to always end up sitting right next to the phone. So my expanded noun phrase for that could be a dirty coffee cup next to the phone. Also, I look around the room and the thing right next to me, is always next to me, is this notebook. And this notebook is something, as you can see, it's very messy. It has lots of crossings out, it has lots of notes, it has lots of scribbly writing. It's not very neat, it's a bit torn in places. There's numbers and words and lists and all over the shop. So I could say I've got a scribbly, torn notebook, and it's, what's it got? It's with lots of crossings out or with lots of lists. So let's have a look. So my two were a dirty coffee cup next to the phone and a scribbled torn notebook with lists of things to do. There's always lists of things to do in there. So you now stop the video, choose three objects, three nouns in your room, and come up with an expanded noun phrase for each and write it in your book. And remember to take a photo and post it onto Class Dojo for me. Have a go at that now, please. Well done. I hope you remember that expanded noun phrases are not sentences. They do not have a verb. So it might be worth just checking those just before you put them onto Class Dojo. Okay, main part of today's lesson. We're working through our story. So on Friday, we did the opening of the story where we introduced the main character and the setting. Yesterday, we talked about the build-up, where the main character, the woodcutter, went on his journey. He found the magic being, the nymph, and because he was kind to the nymph, the nymph granted him 3 wishes. So today we're into the problem phase. This is where the main character makes 2 wishes, but something goes wrong. I think you can probably remember what went wrong in our model text with the woodcutter, but let's read that part of the story through, and then let's think about how you're going to do your own. So here's the problem stage. It's quite a long, big stage again. So let's have a read through. So remember, so far, the man has just met the nymph. The nymph, he didn't cut down the nymph's tree, and the nymph said, I grant you 3 wishes. And then he carries on. Since the man didn't really believe in magic, he went on about his business. He travelled deeper into the forest to locate other trees he could cut down to make a profit. By the end of the day, he was exhausted. He had worked so hard that he had forgotten all about the wood nymph and the wishes. The man went home where his wife placed a supper of weak potato soup and hard brown bread in front of him. Not thinking, the man sighed and said, I wish I had a nice, big, juicy steak. In a flash, a nice, big, juicy steak appeared in front of him. Both the man and his wife were astonished. But then the man remembered his encounter with the wood nymph, so he told his wife all about it. When his wife learned that he had been granted 3 wishes, she realized her husband just wasted one on a simple steak, and she became quite angry. Why didn't you wish for gold, or jewels, or a large farm, or enough to eat for the rest of our lives? She shouted at him. You are a fool. I wish that steak would hang from the end of your nose. As soon as she spoke the words, the steak disappeared from the kitchen table and appeared on the man's nose. There it hung, and no matter how hard the 2 crazed adults tried to remove the steak, it would not come off. So you can see the main character and his wife have made 2 wishes, and something's definitely gone wrong. So let's just have a think about how the story does it. So first of all, the main character somehow forgets about the wishes. So in this story, he carried on chopping trees down and walking through the woods, and he got so tired, he got so exhausted that he forgot. And because he'd forgotten about it, he could then make the mistakes. Okay, so we first of all need to make sure your character in your story somehow forgets about the wishes. Then the main character meets someone. As in this one, he goes home and meets his wife. And when he meets that person, he has a dialogue, a conversation with that person somehow. They speak to each other, or at least the main character speaks to the person he's met. And in that dialogue, he makes his first wish by mistake. So in hours, the woodcutter is so tired he forgets. He meets his wife. Over tea, he says to his wife, I wish I had a nice big juicy steak. And that is his first wish by mistake. And that's that wish happens, the steak comes, and that wish is now gone. He's only got 2 left. They then make the second wish by mistake. And that's where in this story, the wife steps in and gets very cross. And because she gets very cross with the woodcutter, she shouts, you are a fool. I wish that steak would hang from the end of your nose. And of course, that's a mistake. She's made a mistake because she's got angry, and making mistakes is very easy when you get angry. And that mistake ended up with the steak hanging off the woodcutter's nose. And that means the second wish leaves them with a really big problem. Okay, so that's how the structure of the problem part of the 3 wishes tales goes. So your job this morning, and I really look forward to reading them later, is to look back at the story you've written so far and write this part. Keep this screen on in front of you so you can use it to help, and use the words at the bottom because that gives you the structure. Somehow your character forgets, your character meets someone, they speak to someone. In that speaking, they make the first wish by mistake. Then somehow they make the second wish by mistake, and the second wish leaves them with a really big problem. We're not sorting the problem out today. We're not going into the third wish. We finish there where there's the big problem. And you can see at the end of ours, and it finishes with no matter how hard the 2 crazed adults tried to remove the steak, it would not come off. So that part of the story leaves it with a really big problem. Okay? Have a go. Post it onto Class Dojo to have a go at the writing. Take a photograph, post it. I'll be looking out for them throughout the day. Okay? good luck. I hope you enjoy it, and I look forward to seeing your efforts later on. Okay, see you tomorrow. Bye.